Black Nanny surprised when Millionaire's mute son says mommy. The mansion was silent except for the soft hum of a clock on the wall. It was the kind of silence that felt heavy, not peaceful but suffocating. Amelia sat cross-legged on the plush, cream-colored rug, her pink dress pooling around her knees. In her arms rested a little boy with golden curls and pale blue eyes that seemed to look through the world rather than at it. His tiny fingers clutched the hem of her dress tightly. "Good morning, sweet boy," she whispered softly, brushing a stray curl from his forehead. "Did you sleep well?" As expected, there was no reply. Amelia's heart ached as she gazed at the child. Noah was only 3, but he hadn't spoken a single word since birth. Doctors had labeled him with selective mutism and hinted that his silence might never break. Trauma, they said, emotional shock from his mother, abandoning him as an infant. But Amelia refused to believe he was unreachable. She had been hired 6 months ago by his father, William Hughes, a powerful millionaire who loved his son fiercely, but was too consumed by grief and work to connect with him. He provided the best therapist, the best toys, the best medical care, but none of it seemed to work. Amelia, however, tried something different. She spoke to Noah as though he could answer. She sang to him softly. Every morning, she held his hand when he trembled at loud noises. She read him bedtime stories even when his eyes stared blankly past the pages. "Your daddy loves you so much," she said, quietly rocking him gently. "And so do I. You're safe here." To her surprise, over time, small changes began to appear. Noah started following her with his eyes. He would reach out to touch her face sometimes, his small hands lingering as if memorizing her features. And last week, when she had cried quietly while reading him a sad story, he had touched her cheek, his brows furrowed in confusion, almost as though he understood. It gave her hope. That morning, Amelia had dressed Noah in his little white shirt and black pants. He looked like a porcelain doll as she sat him on her lap. "Can you say ball for me, sweetheart?" she asked gently, rolling a red ball toward him. Number. Response. She smiled anyway, refusing to let the disappointment show. "That's okay. We'll try again later." She fed him his breakfast slowly, praising him for every bite. "Good job, Noah. You're such a brave boy." When she finished, she hugged him tightly, resting her cheek against his soft curls. "You're my favorite person?" "You know that," she whispered. That's when she felt it. A faint vibration in his chest. Amelia froze, pulling back slightly. "Noah." His lips moved slightly, just a tremor. But then it came. "Ma." Her eyes went wide. "Did you, Noah? Did you just say something?" "Mommy," he whispered, barely audible, but it was there. Amelia gasped, tears springing to her eyes. "Oh my God, Noah, you spoke. You said mommy?" The boy clutched her tighter, his small voice breaking through the silence. Again. "Mommy." Amelia's hand shook as she held him close. "Yes, baby. Yes, I'm here. Mommy's here." Her heart raced. She didn't know whether to laugh or cry, so she did both. "Sir, sir," she called out toward the hallway, her voice cracking with emotion. He spoke. He said William Hughes was just stepping out of his office when he heard her cry. He froze. For a moment he wondered if he'd imagined it. Amelia never raised her voice, not in fear, not in anger, not even in joy. But now she was calling to him, her tone raw with urgency. "Sir, please come quickly." William strode down the hall, his polished shoes thudding against the marble floor. When he entered the living room, his heart stopped. Amelia was kneeling on the floor, cradling his son tightly. Her pink dress was wrinkled from where the boy had clung to it, and her eyes were wet with tears. But what struck him most was the sound. "Mommy," Noah said again, his little voice shaky but clear. William's jaw dropped and he stumbled back a step. For a moment he thought his heart had stopped beating. "No, no, it can't be," he whispered. "Sir," Amelia said softly, her voice trembling. "He spoke. He called me Mommy." Noah looked up at her with wide, innocent eyes and repeated, "Mommy." William's knees nearly gave out. For the first time in years he heard his son's voice. For a moment the room stood still. William's eyes darted between his son and the nanny kneeling on the floor. He felt like he couldn't breathe. His Noah, his precious, silent little boy, had just spoken. And not just any word. "Mommy," the child whispered again, his small arms tightening around Amelia's neck. William staggered forward, his voice breaking. "Noah, my boy, you spoke." Amelia looked up, her own tears streaming. "Sir, he did it? He really spoke?" Her voice was shaky, raw with emotion. "He called me Mommy." William's chest tightened, a swirl of emotions choking him. Relief, gratitude, but also a strange, stinging ache. "Mommy!" The word hit him like a blade, and a balm at once. He dropped to his knees beside them. "Noah, it's Daddy," he whispered, brushing a hand gently over the boy's golden curls. "Can you say Daddy too?" But Noah only clung to Amelia tighter, burying his face into her shoulder. "Mommy," he repeated, his voice a little stronger this time. William's heart cracked open. "She," Amelia murmured to Noah, rocking him gently. "You're safe, sweetheart. You're safe." The boy's tiny fingers dug into the fabric of her dress as if letting go meant losing his entire world. William sat back on his heels, staring at them. For months, he'd watched Amelia pour her heart into caring for Noah. He remembered coming home late one night to find her asleep in a chair with the boy.